Welcome back. As we earlier said, that we will be talking about the tourism campaign. Your expectations are history, and to shed more lights over that very exceptional campaign, we're very delighted to be having with us Dr. Yehya Abdul, the tourism counselor. He's going to tell us more about that campaign. Good morning, Dr. Yehya.
Good morning, Ms. Dean. How are you?
How are you doing, sir? Let us first talk about that campaign. Your expectations are history. What is the story about that campaign?
Well, as you know, last week we've been attending the ITB in Berlin. The Minister of Tourism, he met, tour operators, the cruise lines, the airlines, and major tour corporations. And the pavilion really was modeled after the Grand Egyptian Museum, so it was so prestigious. And it won a prestigious award as well. So Dr. Raif was speaking to the tour operators and explained the strategy, new strategy for the Ministry of Tourism and the new campaign that, it forecasts the visitors, because Egypt has a very rich and diverse products and services and attractions, from culture to sports to attractions to ecotourism to the heritage and tangible and intangible. So we have a variety of products and services that cater to all types of visitors. This is the meaning behind the logo of the campaign that we currently promote.
Right. What does that campaign aim at?
Well, it aims at attracting a wide range of visitors because, as I say, Egypt has a diverse and rich historical background. And we can, serve large sectors of the private public, those who like to come for education, for health, for business, for investment, for attractions, for culture, for visiting the Red Sea beaches, for diving. So it's a ferry as well. So we have a diverse group, but that's why the campaign is introducing all the attractions that Egypt has for a large wide public of travelers and visitors.
Right. The logo of the campaign is a little bit exceptional and attractive. What does it signify or reflect?
Well, it reflects, as I already outlined, that Egypt, has its own, like when you book a dinner and you want things, you're going to find it. That's why you like to come to Egypt, and any type of attractions you dream of and you conceive, you'll find available with a variety, richness, and diversity as well.
Right. How do you see the importance of this campaign highlighting the tourism diversity here in Egypt, which suits all types of tourists? I mean, once it is applied or could follow the footsteps, what is the effect of that to empower tourism in a country like Egypt?
Well, the target for the government of Egypt is that we need to target around 30 million visitors. That's why we have to introduce a wide range of services and attractions year-round, so that, any type of travelers who like to come to Egypt, will find, his attractive services, an aspiration and any dreams, any dreams about Egypt before coming. That's why we're going to be selling and promoting and catering to visitors as well.
Right. Egypt is not, distinguished by only one type of tourism. There are many types of tourism for all different seasons, for all seasons of the year. So would that require a different campaign for each season? Would that require a different policy, a different update of that campaign, even if it's applied on all seasons? I mean, Egypt is one of the very charming countries and one of the distinguished countries in the sense of attracting all types of tourism and all types of tourists and nationalities. So how could that be applied on touristic campaigns?
Well, as really you quite right outlined, this is the major theme of the campaign. But, every season there's going to be, a new message. For example, we need to attract people to spend Ramadan in Egypt. So this is going to be another scheme. Then the summer season and vacations come. is going to be a different theme. And then the spring, and then, like the Red Sea and Mediterranean beaches and resorts. So, like the themes will go with the flow of the type of attraction, the seasonality, and the public that we are targeting to visit each.
What are the most popular seasons for tourism? I mean, that Egypt is known for or recognized outside for people coming from outside Egypt. From your own point of view, of course, as a counselor.
Historically, Egypt has been recognized, like for thousands of years as a winter resort, because, like 300-400 years ago, there was no air conditioning systems, like cooling and heating and all this. That's why historically the tours of Egypt from Europe were called, like grand tours, and visitors will come by train, by boat, and they will stay for 3-4 months, until it gets warmer in Europe so they can go back. So that was the pattern. And then we discovered, like the resort and sporting and beach tourism. So now for example, last year we received 1.5 million German visitors. And we look forward, like to receive more this year. So typically it has been a winter resort, but now, like more visitors are coming throughout the summer, which is good for the facilities and capacity of Egyptian hotel rooms and attraction.
Do you think that sometimes as we're living in experiencing totally new experiences according to economic crisis, according to military confrontation, this and the climate change, and together with the momentum, types of tourism could be a little bit more different than before. I mean, we should use a different vision for attracting people, a different type of tourism, promote differently. How does things work with the current situation?
You're quite right, because, for example, one of the areas that we didn't work hard on was the wedding, the festivals and tourism. And that's why Sharm el-Sheikh has been promoting itself as a wedding destination. And that's why a few months ago we had a large crowd, of Indian visitors coming from Hyderabad. They had the traditional wedding, and there was around 500 visitors. So this is one area we have to develop. We have to develop gastronomic tourism as well. And, like meeting and incentives and business. Education, for example, and medical. We have excellent medical centers, Dr. Magdaoud, Dr. Ghanim Mansoura. So all this attracts, a flow of visitors for their own targets and objectives and intentions to visit the country.
Right. Talking about Sharm el-Sheikh, and Sharm el-Sheikh is an total 100% environmentally friendly city or governorate, and it has been widely recognized by its nature, and it's free of pollution, weather, and beautiful setting, greenery and everything. It's a total green city. So how important is adapting to the rules of environment and standing to the hazards of climate change, and respecting the rules of the environment, and applying those rules that came according to the agreements that were set in COP27. How does that reflect on tourism?
Well, really, there are many aspects. For example, the coral reef, like in the Red Sea, are very exotic and rare. And that's why, like the governor, Mr. Qader, is working with divers and groups to maintain it and make sure that it's not going to get spoiled. We have the solar power. We have the wind power. So we have lots of clean energy that had been applied to Sharm el-Sheikh. And Mr. Qader was at the ITP in Berlin, and he promotes Sharm el-Sheikh as a distinctive destination, and he has been successful in this respect. So really, it's a resort by itself, and it can be, like the spearhead of promoting, like Egyptian travel worldwide, like events and conventions. As you mentioned, the COP27, we had the World Youth Forum, and these are excellent examples of how it is an attractive destination worldwide.
Right, and building on that also, we have unbelievable places like Siwa, like Al Wahid, like Al Farafra, and other places like Siwa, where you do not consume, where you do not pollute the environment at all. You do not consume electricity, you do not consume, I mean, any type of garbage. I mean, I mean, depending on renewable energy, depending on nature totally. And the hotels are equipped for that. But what is the problem when it comes to promoting for these type of places, especially that they're very sophisticated, very civilized, and European tourism is favored very much in those places?
This is really extremely true because, like environmentalists and eco tourists, and the green tourism travelers from Europe, exactly, from Germany and other destinations, Switzerland, they love, to visit Yehya and visit the New Valley. But still, some of the services, are not in effect. For example, you cannot fly to see So this is why, travelers have to travel for 10, 15 hours. So this is one service we have to supply. The theme, is very favorite, and affordable to most tourists. But we need to upgrade, the services and make it like a green city, as you say, using solar power, using wind power, and, extracting water, fresh water from its wells. So this is true. So we need to upgrade and support our policy for both Siwa, Windows, and for the New Valley as well.
Right, because of the, I mean, cultural events that are so many in Egypt, because that Egypt is always hosting, I mean, cinematographical, I mean, festivities and, festivities for theater and, all types of cultural events and also conferences. So Egypt also is building new total whole recreational cities where you can go see the beach and you can enjoy yourself. You can go to movies and you can go to a lot of places where you for entertainment in general. So would that promote for recreational tourism in Egypt and make it one of the seasons added to another season known as recreational tourism?
Definitely, you're right, because visitors, when they travel, they like to enjoy their stay. If they come for 5 days or they come for 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, we had Art Cairo. There was a great art exhibition at the Grand Egyptian Museum. So really, that was an excellent thing. And again, at the Museum for Civilization, Dr. Ahmed Ghanem, he managed, the gastronomy tourism event as well. And Egypt and Cairo has become the hub for international events. This month, we'll be receiving Cirque du Soleil, and this is one of the top shows worldwide that gathers, hundreds of visitors and locals as well. So, for example, the Cairo Museum in Tahrir, last week was conducting, a show, a virtual reality with the museum, and it is in Roma, in Venezia, in Florence, in Veneto and Cairo as well, for 3 days. So visitors, going to the museums in Italy and Cairo, they can check the facilities and attractions and antiquities in the other areas. And this was done under the supervision of Signor Scalmani, the director of the Cultural Center in Egypt and the Italian Embassy. So really, these are some of the creative. We have film festivals in Ismailia, in Cairo, Alexandria, Luxor, Aswan. So really, we have a great movement. We have the Opera House as well, the movies and theaters, the book fair. So Cairo and Egypt are very attractive as of culture and the creation, art, and opera and costumes as well.
Right, Dr. Yehya Abdul, the Tourism Council, would like to thank you so much, and you have a beautiful day. And right now, it's Egypt has set Sinai on the path of real development, as we all know, as it had launched a comprehensive development plan for the land of turquoise. Sinai has already undergone a huge transformation since President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi took office, as every place in Egypt. We have more details in the following report.